Hi, I'm Mark Forrest from EAA in Oshkosh. I'm the coordinator of the Sport Air Workshops, and we're here to talk about another great home builder's tip. This is using a hot glue as a third hand for fixturing and jigging parts. A lot of times when you're putting an aircraft together in the early stages of assembly, you have to set parts in a certain way that is not easy to clamp or otherwise hold the parts in alignment. A good example of this would be building a sheet metal airplane. Typically what you'll have is some sort of strong back, a wooden board, maybe a couple of 2x4s, and that functions as your alignment beam as you're setting up the initial bulkheads. Okay? When you're doing this, there's a couple of things you have to keep in mind. There might be an angle that the bulkhead has to be at, and of course certain distances. Here's a technique that you can use using a hot glue gun to hold those bulkheads in place very, very easily. So first of all, what we need is a piece of particle board or a scrap piece of plywood, some masking tape, and a hot glue gun. Now the hot glue gun that I use is something that's not your ordinary arts and crafts store type of hot glue gun. This particular hot glue gun has a higher power rating. It's about 80 watts, so it has a much better continuous flow. You won't run out of heat using this sort of hot glue gun. Also the sticks, the adhesives that are used in these sort of higher powered glue guns will tend to adhere to materials much better than your typical craft and hobby hot glue guns. These are readily available, but you have to do a little searching. Look at the package before you purchase a hot glue gun. Look for the higher wattage, and also look at the packaging on the adhesives to look for a higher strength adhesive. So we have our high powered hot glue gun. We have our little particle board block. What I've done is actually cut this at the angle that we need the bulkhead to be placed. The first thing we're going to do is place the piece of particle board. This would be aligned fore and aft at a specific station to where you need your part lined up. We use masking tape, and what we'll do here is take some masking tape and actually apply it to the bulkhead. And that functions to adhere to the bulkhead and actually act as a bit of a barrier so that the hot glue gun doesn't permanently stick to the bulkhead or damage the surface. So we're set that way. We have a surface that we can put the hot glue on, and the fixture to hold it in place. So we'll take a bit of hot glue now and apply it. Again, this is a very quick demonstration. You'd want to make sure your bulkhead is lined up properly, that it's in the proper position. Let it cool down. It takes a bit longer to cool than a typical hot glue machine. And now you're set. You'll find that using this method is quite strong in terms of getting all the parts lined up. You can use the same method using composite materials as well. Here's something simple, just a piece of composite foam board that we've laid up. And if you're building a composite aircraft, a cozy or something like that, you're familiar with having to line up bulkheads to get the aircraft put together. So again, we put some masking tape onto the bulkhead. We have our little fixture here. This will be a simple operation. A little dab of hot glue on there. Hold it in place. Let it cool off a little bit. And we have a very nice, very strong joint. Now we're bonding composite. We're bonding sheet metal. You could bond wood just as easily. A nice firm joint that's not going to fall apart on you. You can see it's kind of a three-dimensional fixture. We don't need any special clamping or any special surfaces to use clamps. So it works very, very well for odd situations where you have to hold pieces in a three-dimensional space, so to speak. When we take it off, it just peels off. And you can see there's no damage to the part. So that's another nice feature of using this sort of technique. Another easy technique, something you can use when you're building your aircraft from the EAA Sport Air Workshops.